Hello and welcome to the Post About Ghosts podcast. I am your co-host Shelmo, and with me as always is Aidy. Hi Aidy.
Hello.
Well guys, I think we have another fantastic episode for you this week. We are talking about spirit animals and ghost pets. Aidy is going to lead the way this week and tell us about what spectral animals he found.
Yes, spectral animals. Well, spectral aminals. Oh my god. Spectral animals. We're off to a flyer, aren't we, this week? Straight out the gate with me mouth back to front. Spectral animals have various categories according to the paranormal investigator Joshua Warren. Those are entity ghost, an interactive self-aware apparition such as that of a pet that has come back from the dead to interact with you in some way. The imprint ghost animal, which is a non-interactive entity with no immediate awareness of the environment, such as spectral horses drawing along a ghostly stagecoach. Elemental ghostly animals, an animal that has never occupied a physical body, such as hellhounds and bar guests here in the UK. Perceived as demonic creatures from the netherworld, elementals often resemble regular animals but look slightly different. So hellhounds, for example, are said to have glowing red eyes and are much larger than regular dogs. Finally, we have the harbinger ghostly animals. These animals are in the real world but have spiritual energy. For example, a witch's familiar. They have the ability to tell the future and are often seen as harbingers of death. There you go.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, I tell you what, you have some great stuff coming this week about black dogs.
Yes.
But first, I found an interesting, not just spirit cat, but demon cat story that actually resides in our White House in Washington, D.C.
Now, aren't all cats demons to some extent?
Well, that is true. There are some that show it a little more than others, but they are a very interesting animal. I know there are cat people, but cats seem to be psychotic to me. I love all animals, but cats have a schizophrenic side, I do believe.
Yeah, I love cats too, especially love it the way they'll just look at you while they just gently palm a very expensive ornament off a table or something.
It's going.
While they just stare at you as if to say, and you're going to do what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, the demon cat, who is simply called DC around the White House. Of course.
Yeah.
He is one of Washington, D.C.'s oldest and most persistent ghost legends. Its origins trace back to the mid-1800s when cats were intentionally released into the United States Capitol's basement tunnels to control rats and mice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, according to historical accounts, one of these working cats supposedly died but never left the building, becoming the spectral creature later known as the demon cat.
Right.
The earliest recorded sightings date back to 1862 when the Capitol basement was being used as a Civil War bakery. Guards reported a mysterious cat appearing and vanishing in the corridors, and newspapers of the era later tied the creature to moments of national tension or tragedy. Descriptions of the demon cat vary, but several details appear again and again in witness testimony. Most commonly, the cat first appears as a normal-sized black or tabby house cat, often sitting motionless in a hallway or approaching a guard on patrol. As witnesses draw closer, the cat reportedly swells to an enormous size, sometimes described as tiger-sized, other times as big as an elephant, before either vanishing mid-pounce or exploding into mist. A 1935 Washington Post account described its eyes as glowing with the hue and ferocity of the headlights of a fire engine. These dramatic transformations helped cement the demon cat as one of the most theatrical hauntings in federal folklore. Many of the most famous sightings came from Capitol night watchmen, especially in the late 19th and 20th centuries. One guard in the 1890s reportedly fired his gun at the cat only for it to disappear instantly. Another guard allegedly died of a heart attack after seeing it. That would be me. Some stories claim the demon cat appears before a major national event, such as presidential assassinations or wartime crises. Although these accounts are more folkloric than documented, modern historians note that the Capitol once employed many undertrained or intoxicated guards, which may have contributed to exaggerated reports. Still, the legend persists and is supported by physical oddities like paw print impressions in the Capitol's small Senate rotunda floor, which some point to serve as evidence of the cat's supernatural presence. Well, I'm just going to say that a little too much beer probably had a lot to do with the reports of the ones that were the size of an elephant.
Yeah. Can we just look at the practicalities of how that's going to fit?
Well, that's what I was thinking. There are these corridors, and how do you get an elephant in a corridor?
Yeah, I mean, I know certain parts of the White House are big.
Yeah.
But the sort of, in the story, the implication is it's not exactly, in the Oval Office, is it?
No.
Like didn't you say like a subterranean bakery? Didn't you say during the?
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't. Basement tunnels don't really reek of big size places.
I wouldn't think so. Wouldn't they have to be carved out somehow back then? I don't know how
I
it
have
works.
no
It just
idea,
doesn't
but
seem like a place where you could just see an elephant walk through. And
yeah, I'm thinking there's some form of exaggeration that's going on with that. I'll just say.
Well, from cats to dogs, tell us
Yes.
about these black dogs.
Indeed, black dog. Originating from English folklore, it is also present throughout Europe and the Americas. Now, this is usually depicted as being unnaturally large, not elephant-sized, with glowing red or yellow eyes, and it is often connected to the devil and is often seen as an omen of death. Sometimes it's associated with electrical storms as well as crossroads, barrows, places of execution, and ancient pathways. They are generally regarded as sinister and harmful. Some, however, are depicted as being benevolent guardians guiding travellers and protecting them. So they basically covered all the bets with that.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. So, in England, the legend of the black dog is found in almost all of the counties: Bedford, Cornwall, Devon, Hampshire, Yorkshire, and so on. And there are some notable examples of the black dog, which are as follows. The first one we have is the Barghest. Now, it is said to roam the Snickelways and side roads of York, attacking passers-by. It is said to be a huge dog and a warning of impending doom. Now, the name Barghest has various interpretations, ranging from town ghost, the word ghost being pronounced as guest in some northern England towns, and Barg deriving from the word Bur, or town. In Germanic, Berggeist means mountain ghost, or Bargeist meaning bear ghost. Yeah. Now, the last one's sort of like, yeah, this thing's big. It probably could have been confused with a bear.
Yeah.
I'm going with town ghost. I like that one.
I can go for that.
Now, in Yorkshire, England, one example of a Barghest is said to frequent a remote gorge called Troller's Gill. In the ballad called Troller's Gill, taken from the 1830 book, The Everyday Book by William Hone, it recounts the story of a man who ventures out to Troller's Gill to summon and confront the Barghest using ritual magic. Unsurprisingly, this does not go to plan, and shortly thereafter, his body is found with inhuman wounds on his chest.
Oh,
I'm just going
no.
to say, I would have been going armed with not a book, and I would have been going armed with, what year, 1830? We had guns,
Yeah.
lots of guns,
We had guns.
swords, and explosives.
Yeah.
I don't think
Not a book.
going with a ritual magic pieces of paper.
He must have been really confident in his ability to perform these things.
It clearly didn't work. I somehow thought that was kind of amusing.
Yeah. Another one for the Darwin Awards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he summoned it. So he summons it. All right, if you're going to use ritual magic to summon it, fine. But you're not going to use anything else once you'd summoned it. I mean, did he summon it and just go, oh, didn't think that would work? Yeah, what do you do now? And why would you go alone, by the way? Anyway, idiot. That's all I can say to that one. Yeah. Another story of a Barghast entering the city of York, preying on lone travellers in the city's narrow snickelways. Now, I was interested to find out what the hell a snickelway was, and apparently they are narrow streets and alleyways in the city of York.
That is fascinating. I love that.
Yeah.
Snickelways.
Yeah. And there is a building located at number 1, the Shambles, in the city of York, which is called Barghest. So there you go.
There you go.
The Barghest also serves as an omen of doom. Well, yeah, I mean, not being funny, if you come across this thing, it's not going to be happy times, is it? I mean, I think that's it's safe to say it is an omen of doom coming across this thing. If a person of note passes away, the Barghest may appear along with other local dogs, forming a sort of funeral procession heralding the person's death. And if someone is injured by a Barghest, then it is said that the wound will not heal.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So, the next one that I have is one called Black Shuck. Now, in Norfolk, Suffolk, Lincolnshire, and northern parts of Essex, a black dog known as Black Shuck wanders. Stories range from this beast scaring people to actually killing them, as well as being a portent of doom. There's a familiar thing running through all of these stories, it would seem. Now, there is a tale that in 1577 it attacked a church, killing 2 people. Then it appeared at another church on the same day and killed another 3 people, leaving claw marks which remain to this day. According to legend, if the place where it has just been seen is examined, then there are scorch marks on the ground and the smell of brimstone can be detected. So that's another one you don't particularly want to come across either.
Right. Can I just cut in here for a minute and say I'm trying really hard not to, but you know me, Aidy. Can I be haunted by a black dog? I love dogs. I am a dog person. I want one of every kind of dog. Can I have a black dog, please? Can I?
Yeah.
Now, if it's one of these, like this Black Shook thing, you're gonna have to take care of it for me.
Well, there's a surprise.
I want it, but you're gonna have to tend to it for me. I just want to have it. I don't want to get killed by it.
That would go without saying, really.
Before we get back to black dogs, I have an interesting ghost animal story that I found about the ghost horse of Pluckley. Now, am I saying that right, Aidy?
Yeah, that's how I would say it.
The ghost horse of Pluckley is one of the many apparitions tied to Pluckley, Kent, a village long promoted as the most haunted in England. The legend is closely associated with reports of a phantom coach and horses said to race through the lanes near the Black Horse Inn and the Pinnock. Pluckley's haunted reputation dates back to at least the 1950s, when the village was first publicized as having a concentrated number of hauntings, later reinforced by mentions in the Guinness Book of Records and decades of ghost tour literature. I can't talk today. Modern research from the UWE Bristol confirms that the ghost coach story has appeared consistently in local accounts since the mid 20th century, making it one of Pluckley's longest standing supernatural traditions. Witnesses describe the apparition as a dark horse, sometimes accompanied by a spectral coach, other times appearing alone. The horse is usually seen galloping at full speed, often emerging suddenly from the midst on a narrow country lane before vanishing without sound or impact. In some retellings, the horse is accompanied by the figure of a highwayman, tying the apparition to Pluckley's long history of smuggling and roadside crime. Was that in the 1980s? Just kidding.
Could be.
The village's own folklore listings include a phantom coach and horses among its official ghost roster, placing the spectral horse alongside other well-known Pluckley spirits such as the Watercress Lady, the Screaming Man, and the White Lady. Accounts of the ghost horse tend to come back from late-night travelers, pub-goers,
Surprise,
leaving
surprise.
Surprise. There's that alcohol factor again.
Yeah.
The Black Horse Inn. What's up with this Black Horse Inn? We might have to do an episode about this place. It keeps coming up. Anyway, and participants on the local ghost walks. Some witnesses report hearing hoofbeats on empty roads, while others claim to have seen the horse charging toward them before dissolving into darkness. Staff and patrons at the Black Horse Inn have also reported unexplained sounds, scraping chairs, opening doors, and the sensation of being watched, which local storytellers sometimes connect to the same restless highwayman spirit said to drive the phantom horse. Though modern researchers note that Pluckley's legends were amplified by mid-century media attention, the ghost horse remains one of the village's most frequently repeated location-specific hauntings.
Interesting.
You ever heard of that one before?
Nope.
Nice. I brought something new to the game today. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got some more black dogs.
I do.
What you got?
I do indeed. So I have a different one. This one isn't a nasty one. We have the Church Grim, which is different. Rather than being a omen of ill fortune or something that's going to kill you just by looking at you, the Church Grim is a guardian spirit from Scottish, English and Nordic folklore. This one protects Christian churches and churchyards from those who seek to commit sacrilege against them. It takes the form of a large black dog, again with red eyes, but this will only attack thieves, vandals, witches, warlocks, and even the devil. I'm not too sure why witches and, well, I suppose grave robbers, you could say. But yeah, there you go. He'll even go after the devil, I guess, if he's trying to steal the souls of the recently departed.
Sounds like if you're going to have a black dog, this one might be the one
I would
to
say
have.
so, yeah. Folklorists believe that once it was custom to bury a dog alive under the cornerstone of a church, that its spirit would come back and protect the church. Now, this does stem from the thing of the soul of the first person buried in the churchyard would remain there to protect it. So they did this so that no human soul would be eternally damned, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, because sadly, in one of our previous episodes, it was uncovered that people buried people alive to protect places in our human history. Not in modern time, not in a very long time. We're talking about ancient times, but it was a practice that they would bury someone alive for the guardian of the building.
Yeah. And to round off my black dog stories, there's a lot more, by the way. I just picked out 4 of them.
That's the great thing about our topic. There's just so many places where you can go back and revisit and always find something new with the paranormal. It's one of the things that I've always found fascinating about being a fan of paranormal and ghost stories. You never run out of story.
No, you don't. So the last are actually two, and these are the Yeth Hound and the Wished Hound. Now, the Yeth Hound, or Yell Hound, is a black dog from Devon folklore thought to have inspired the ghost dog from the story The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The Yeth Hound is a headless dog said to be the spirit of an unbaptized child that wanders through the woods at night making wailing noises. The Wished Hound, or Wish Hound, is related to the Yeth Hound. Now, the Wished Hound is thought to be located in Wistman's Wood in South Devon. Now, these are hunting dogs, and they foray across the moor with their huntsman, who is thought to be the devil. It is also said that any dog that hears the cry of the hounds will die. Legend has it that the ghost of Sir Francis Drake drives a black hearse coach on the road between Tavistock and Plymouth, and this hearse is drawn by headless horses and accompanied by demons and a pack of wished hounds. And to tie it into an earlier episode we did, this is thought that this is the modern telling of the Wild Hunt, again, which we did cover in an early podcast episode.
We did.
So there you go.
Fascinating. To finish off the show this week, I found 3 My Pet Came Back stories.
Right. Bit like Pet Cemetery.
Sort of, yeah. So the first one is The Returning Dog with the Collar Bell. Now, this one is in the AFS Folklore Collection, Midwest Oral Narratives. And, of course, as always, I'll put the links in the show notes for anyone that wants to read more about this or read other stories. In a Midwestern oral history collection archived by the American Folklore Society, a woman recounted the death of her childhood dog, Buddy. Now, Buddy always wore a collar with a distinctive metal bell, and after Buddy was killed by a passing car and buried on the family property, the household began hearing an unmistakable jingling of his bell outside the back door at dusk, the exact sound he made when he came in for dinner. The witness said the bell rang nightly for nearly 2 weeks, always at the same time and always in the same spot. The family checked repeatedly, but no animal was ever present. The narrator insisted the sound was as clear as if he were still alive, and that it stopped only after Mother spoke aloud to Buddy, telling him that he could rest now. The second story that I have is The Cat Who Jumped Onto the Bed. And this was found in the Southern Appalachian Folklore Archive. A Tennessee woman interviewed in the 1970s described her elderly cat Mittens, who slept at the foot of her bed every night for over a decade. After Mittens died and was buried on the property, the woman reported that for several nights she felt the familiar weight of a cat jumping onto the bed, circling and settling against her legs, exactly as Mittens had always done. Now, she emphasized that the sensation was physical and not imagined. The mattress dipped, the blanket shifted, and she could feel warmth against her calves. The experience was so vivid that she reached down to pet the cat before remembering that Mittens was gone. The folklorist who collected the story noted that the woman became emotional during the interview and insisted the visits were comforting and not frightening. The third and final story is The Dog Who Came Home After Burial, and this one is from the Great Lakes Ethnographic Field Notes. And it tells that in a Michigan collection of family ghost stories, a man described his childhood dog Rex, who died during a harsh winter and was buried in the frozen ground behind the barn. A few nights later, the family heard scratching at the back door, the exact pattern Rex used when he wanted to be let in. When they opened the door, no animal was there, but the snow on the porch showed fresh paw prints heading up to the door and stopped abruptly. The next morning, the same prints appeared again, circling the house and ending at the door. The family dog had been buried deep enough so that no scavenger could have disturbed the grave, and the witness insisted the prints matched Rex's size and gait. The folklorist who recorded the account noted the multiple family members corroborated the events.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have an old photo, Aidy, you've seen it,
I
that
have.
I took it in my backyard when I had a camera that did night shot. I know they stopped making those cameras because of some kind of thing. They looked like they took x-ray pictures of people through their clothes, and there was a thing. And anyway, there's no longer this particular camera that was great for night vision, but when I had it, it was fantastic for night vision. And the picture that I took in complete darkness. I couldn't see a thing. But when I got it, and it was a digital camera, and when I took it in and looked at the picture, I could see there is so much going on in that photo. It's just incredible. There's something that looks like it's peeking around from behind the shed,
Yeah.
and there's a bright orb in the sky that looks like the moon, but you can tell by the pattern that it's not. And I can testify that the moon was behind me when I took this picture. So there's no way that that giant orb in it is the moon. But the most fascinating thing about it is the shadow of a cat in the grass.
Yeah.
There's that shadow cat, and I swear I think it was my cat. I had a cat named Tweak that was buried in that backyard, and I swear I think it was Tweak coming for a visit, but you can tell it's not a real cat. It's just a shadow. But I will put that in the show notes as well, and I'd love for anyone to take a look at that picture and just tell me what you think about any of that going on. It's my favorite paranormal picture that I've ever seen, and it's kind of cool that I took it myself. But I'll put that in the show notes for everybody too. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Is that it for you?
That is for me, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Posts About Ghosts podcast, subscribe and then follow our X account at PostsABTGhosts and tell us if you've ever had a pet come back and visit you. We'd love to hear your stories. All of our contacts and social links are on the website at www.postsaboutghosts.com, by the way. And until next time, may every crossroad bring you only friendly black dogs. Bye.
Bye.